It says I am live. So happy Friday evening there, internet lands. Instagram. Well, no, nobody on Instagram would see this, but Facebook. Happy Friday. Happy 2020. Happy, everything. So my name is Kip, and if you're watching this, then you should know that this is Car Chat with Kip. What we do on this live stream is we talk car news, recalls, and just have some fun in the chat. If another thing that we do on this channel, which is not a part of this stream, we have our own. Hey, Walt, how are you doing this evening? Is we also do a Wednesday night live stream called Buy It or Boot It, and that is where we go on the Facebook Marketplace and we look at cars that are for sale in certain areas of the country and decide whether it's a good deal or bad. So make sure to check us out on that stream as well. Quick updates on the channel. Oops, there we go. Facebook's minor growth here and there. A few more people have liked it, which is awesome. The big news for the gotta get right the right screen here. The big news for the YouTube channel, which you guys are so wonderful in supporting, is by 400 subscribers. Yay! So you got to thank everyone who subscribed on the push to get me there on New Year's Eve. Didn't quite work, but 400 is 400, and I'm very grateful. What else we got coming up? This should be filming at some point this weekend, depending on weather. 2 videos. One on our new personal vehicle, a 2020 Chevy Equinox. We'll let you know how we like it so far after about a month and a half. That's just coming up close to. Well, we've got another 2 weeks before we get 2 months on it. But we'll give you the skinny on that car, and we're also going to do a video on how to take better pictures of your car if you're gonna sell it on somewhere like Facebook Marketplace or what's that other one? Craigslist. Because that's the one thing I can definitely say about Buy It or Boot It. Some of the pictures are, it might be intentional, but for me, if I'm looking at your car and I want as many pictures as possible, so that's what we're going to talk about there. So very cool. So we're going to get now into the news, and one of the get a free oil change. Yeah. One of the things that I saw this this week, and I thought was pretty amazing. It actually makes me much more interested in the Rivian truck that is going to be coming out. I have no idea when, but they posted a video on their YouTube channel not long ago showing the truck doing a tank turn. And I got the video right here. We're going to show you exactly what the tank turn is. Let's see if we can, I'm not sure if we can get it any bigger. And of course, Google is deciding to not respond. I do have a lot of windows open, so. In the words of Scotty from Star Trek: A Voyage Home, computer. Fantastic. And I'm frozen here as well. Yay. Well, I've heard from other, I watched a bit of another live stream, and they said they were having some issues too. So I'm not sure if YouTube's having problems or whether it's my computer. I'm going to say it's my computer because it's old. And sorry, guys. Okay. It decided to unlock. Okay, so now we're going to finally take a look at the Rivian truck do its tank turn. And if it'll start. Not responding again. All right. Let's. Oh, there we go. Now this is supposedly their production truck, not something special. I don't know about you, but I think that is pretty cool. And they're able to do that because each wheel has a motor attached to it, so each wheel can be done independently. And especially in a muddy situation like that, all you got to do is turn them the right way, and you can have them do that. And that, I think, that's very cool. I like the design of that a whole lot better than the Tesla Cybertruck. That's one electric truck I would buy. The dog is thinking that he needs to be fed right at this moment. And of course, he's just being a little over the edge. All right. We talked about it before. I don't know that I'm going to go into this a whole lot, but let's see if there's any updates on the Bronco. Bronco Baja Racer preview. There's a picture of that. Both right there. Looks pretty cool, the Baja Racer. And if that is a glimpse of what's to come, I think that's pretty rad. There's another. I thought I have a. Oh, there's we go. To bring that up here, we'll show it right after. Sorry about my, doing that thing with my mouth. I have my ears plugged, and I'm trying to get the pop. The logo. It might spawn a pickup truck, which I think would be silly. Especially when you Okay. I don't know what the hell happened, but internet went down or something went down, and but I'm here now. Thanks for hanging out, Jason and Walt, or whoever's still here. Um, yep. Internet just decided it wanted to take a big old crap, and now I'm back. Let's bring us all back up, and hey, here we are. So back to the Bronco. Yeah. And this is not the. I was on a stream earlier that they said they were having issues with I'm not sure whether it's just internet stuff or whether it's YouTube or whatever. But anyways, back to the 2020 Bronco. Yes, they're saying that they're going to have a 2 and a 4-door model. Doors and roof will come off, at least the 2-door. I would very highly doubt. Well, then again, if they're going against the Wrangler, then the 4-door models may have that those doors and roof come off as well. It's based on the new Ranger. It's going to have the same drivetrains, although I think they're probably going to have something bigger than the inline 4, just because it seems like the for consistency reason that the Bronco would have more options than just an inline 4. That's just me saying. I definitely think that it's going to have a manual transmission. Most people need that manual transmission for the heavy duty off-roading that you get with Jeeping. And as I'm very sure, especially with the news recently that the Wrangler and several other Jeeps are going to have hybrid versions, that Ford will have a hybrid Bronco as well. And yes, they're still saying it's going to get a little brother, which will be kind of cool. Now, what I want to show you earlier is they've leaked the, oh, come on, there we go, what the headlight will look like on the new Broncos. I think that looks pretty good. You got a daytime running light right here. Of course, your big old round headlight, little side marker right there. So again, I think, and this is BroncoG6.com that first brought the headlight to everyone's attention. So definitely retro looking. So it's looking pretty cool. Underbody spy shots. That's something I haven't seen yet. Definitely don't. You definitely can see some Bronco in there. See what they have for spy pictures. And I gotta say, I'm very surprised at this point in the game we haven't seen more without camouflage or less camouflage. But that definitely looks like it's going to be a beefy rig. And they did a good job of disguising it, because it looks like there's a body line there for a bed, which, wouldn't be there. But anyways, and let's go back there. Oops, headlights up. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some sort of somewhere in here says Bronco. It also looks like it may be a halo headlight as well, rather other than just the LED right here, which would be kind of cool. So more news on the Bronco, so that's pretty cool. Now, this is from Automobile. We're going to just take a quick look through Paul Walker's treasure trove of collector cars. It's been 6 years since Paul Walker died, and all the cars that are shown here are scheduled for sale at 2020 Scottsdale, Barrett Jackson Scottsdale auction. So if you want a piece of Paul Walker history or just a really nice collector car, you have the Chevelle wagon, which that would be my pick of the litter because I love my wagons. I got a M something. I'm going to say it looks like an M5. Nissan 370, just going on the that really doesn't surprise me, being the car guy, kind of drifter type that Paul Walker seemed to be. M3 lightweight edition, nice. Yeah, 5-speed. And it looks like from the background, he had several. We got the Chevelle wagon again. That's the one thing I can say I don't terribly like about some of these sites is they don't put all the pictures together. 67 Chevy Nova 2, which is a beautiful car. Another BMW M3. This is a E30 variant. Out of all the 3 Series BMWs, that has got to be my favorite design. And these M3s are, and the E30 are very, very hard to get a hold of. Well, not going to go through a whole lot. So, yeah, we got a R32 Skyline. That's also up for sale. But I'm not going to go through all of them because there's a ton of pictures there, and we got better things to do with our night. Can you believe it? Vipers has been out of production for well, now it's 2020, 3 years, but they still managed to sell 5 brand new Vipers in 2019. So there are still a few brand new Vipers at dealerships, and 5 of them were sold in the last year. One snake that won't die without a fight. That is very true. The 5th generation Viper, if you remember correctly, went out of production August 16th, 2017, over 2 years ago. The last example was a yellow ACR, black stripes, which resides in FCA's Heritage Collection. But kind of like back when Lexus had some LFAs that never got sold, Vipers are the same. The funniest thing is 2018 there were 19 Vipers, and that was a year after they went out of production that were still on FCA's books. So bargains are still out there. Say hi, honey.
Hi, honey.
Now, as we move closer and closer to everything being hybrid, Prius is no longer Toyota's best-selling hybrid, and you can see from the picture why it's not anymore, because everybody's going to SUVs, and now that the RAV4 has a hybrid edition, it's was only a matter of time before the RAV4 took over Prius's sales spot. Doesn't mean that they're getting rid of the Prius. Just means that the hybrid culture, just like everything else, is moving towards SUVs. So let's go down through here and see what the sales numbers are for. RAV4 hybrid, gas electric version of the RAV4 compact crossover, overtook the Prius in sales. RAV4 nameplate is the best-selling non-truck in America. So even if a hybrid model made up only a small percentage of overall sales, we're talking about a chunk of a big number. Stir in the RAV4 having just been totally redesigned in 2019, the Prius receiving only a mild update and optional all-wheel drive, which that I think is going to help Prius keep its sales going. That's very true. The first Prius was a real dud, and it's only the early adopters for the second generation that just made it as popular as it is. And so, yes, RAV4 is not weird styling. I love that particular line right there. Because, yeah, it looks normal. It looks, good. So let's see how many RAV4s. So Toyota sold 92,595 RAV4 hybrids compared to 69,718 for Prius. And I would imagine that number is just going to keep increasing, and I would actually think that the Prius number is going to keep shrinking. Now that Toyota's got almost every model hybrid, except for their trucks, which I don't see that won't be far off in my opinion. I see the Prius kind of sliding away. Probably won't be for another maybe generation or so, but you can get the Corolla in a hybrid, the RAV4, you can get the of course Camry, Avalon, Highlander. I mean, it is what it is, and I think that that was a very smart choice of Toyota to finally get the hybrid system in the RAV4s, and it's paying them dividends. And if you guys haven't been keeping track of the news, I cannot pronounce his last name, but Carlos, former CEO of Nissan, he is now an international fugitive. Carlos stepped down as CEO of Nissan in spring of 2017, but since then he's continued to make headlines with an increasingly bizarre set of legal problems that now spans the globe. Accused of financial wrongdoing during his time as chairman and CEO of Nissan, he now stands at the center of a scandal that has led to his arrest, dismissal as CEO, and eventual status as international fugitive after he allegedly escaped that sounds like something out of a movie. Carlos, turn yourself in, man. I'm not going into his early history, but let's see what. So in '96, he became the vice president of Renault, and from there he was instrumental in the creation of the Renault-Nissan Alliance, where Renault bought 36% of Nissan, and I think it was a similar purchases of Nissan and Renault. Renault became the COO of Nissan, and in 2001 he became the CEO. But what did he do that led to him being a allegations? February of 2017, stepped down, served as chairman of the company. For more than a year, things were largely normal, and then 2018, He was arrested by Japanese authorities for alleged financial misconduct. Both Nissan and Mitsubishi fired him shortly thereafter, but the jailed executive remained chairman and CEO of Renault through January 2019. The French government continued to support him, citing innocence until proven guilty. Nissan was quicker to get rid of. Yeah, so indictments. A few weeks later, reports surfaced alleging that Gosen lost money on personal investments and rather than paying them, transferred those losses to Nissan. Ouch. Nissan. No. Nissan. Not Nissan. Crazy Canadians in your pronunciations. Resigned, blah, blah. 1 billion yens. Ouch. Prosecution and escape. All right. So, yes, and Jason, on your point about him being credited turning Nissan around, now that he's gone, Nissan's going down the tubes. Just saying. You should get a pardon from wherever he needs to get a pardon and get back in charge of Nissan because at the rate they're going, I would be surprised if Nissan stays in the States. I don't think within the next 10 years Nissan will be selling cars in the United States. That's a prediction. We'll have to see whether I'm correct. What? I read in here what happened, but I can't remember where I read it. So bear with me for a minute. Okay. According to multiple unverified reports, Gosen hired a full Georgian band to play a holiday concert at his Tokyo apartment where it was being held. Then, with the help of a hired team of ex-Special Forces officers who specialize in extracting people from captivity, crawled into an instrument case, perhaps a large double bass, and the band carried him away when they left the apartment at the end of the party. Hey, I gotta say that's pretty smart.
Props for ingenuity, man.
Yeah, ingenuity, way to think, and who's keeping track of who he was in contact with? Just saying. I think if I had been in like house arrest or whatever, and been calling around to ex-Special Forces, that I don't think I would have stayed in house arrest long. All right. Thank you, Mazda Miata buyers, because they are keeping the stick shift alive in 2019. But yes, and I think that this story is kind of a sad state of affairs because as everybody tries to get the best times and the most fuel efficient. For me, I love manual transmissions just because they're fun to roll through the gears. I think it's sad that the Corvette, the C8, is not going to be offered with a manual. I understand why it's not, but it is still sad. But thank God there's still cars out there like the Miata that you can still buy a brand new car and get a stick shift. Between July 18 and April of 19, 76% of soft top Miatas were sold with manual transmissions. Yes. Numbers a bit lower for the retractable hardtop, which I can see, that's more for the, I want to say it's not really enthusiast car for the retractable hardtop. I think those are more for the, what do I say? They're more for the leisure driver than the enthusiast. So the leisure driver is going to want an automatic, more, but still, that's a really good number That is especially heartening news considering the manuals are dwindling even among enthusiast cars. During the same period, just 1 in 3 Toyota 86s were sold with manuals, according to CarBuzz. Let's not forget that the all-new mid-engine Corvette, first time since '57, will not be offered with a manual transmission. Bummer. I think that within the next, this is another prediction, we'll have to see whether I'm correct. I would say within the next 5 years or so, you won't be able to get a manual transmission, in an automobile here in the States. Trucks, just big trucks, I would say. And, I can't remember the last time I saw a full-size truck with a manual transmission. But I would say, within the next 5 years, you won't even be able to get the Miata with a stick shift. So, but for now, thanks to them, they're keeping it around. So yay. Tesla is filing a new patent for advanced battery chemistry. So this could be, depending on what the chemistry is and how they want to, they're going to make them, but that could be a huge boon for the blasphemy. Yes, that is true. Tesla shared reports about Tesla's potential million-mile battery for some time now, but apparently they now have got a patent on it. It's entitled, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. I'll let you guys figure that out. Nitrile sulfites as electrolyte additives for lithium ions. Battery cell chemistries for the company's cars and energy storage products. New chemistry aims to increase battery performance and longevity while reducing costs. There's a whole list of big words that I can't pronounce, but this patent refers to NMC battery chemistry. Couldn't tell you what that means, other than, can you imagine if Tesla does figure out how to come out with a million-mile battery, how that's going to completely change the electric car industry? And yes, if you're keeping track, I am double fisting it tonight. Got to get rid of this screen. Also getting a bunch, some news from Motor One. This is kind of a cool thing. Motor-icious. This DeLorean barn find sees the light of day for the first time in 32 years. Yes, chemistry 101. No. I wasn't even good at chemistry when I was in school, either time. That's, not me. Oh, no, not a quiz in 5 minutes. My nightmares. I do have clothes on right now, right? Because I that's my ultimate nightmare, going to a test naked. All right. Car was parked in a barn back in 1986. And look at the amount of dust and grime all over that car. Let's go get into the story. Barn finds seem to be more and more common as people stash away cars in different reasons, only to be found decades later. Maybe the owner stowed it away for years until the car became a collector's item for a nice chunk of change, or maybe a late loved one's possession that was parked years after the family decided to part with it. Let's see what this one is. Father and son duo stumbled across this iconic car and decided to wake it up from a long hibernation. DeLorean has been parked for reasons unknown and has finally seen the light of day after 32 years. Covered in over 3 decades of dust, this car is completely original. Owner says the DeLorean has between 30 and 40,000 miles on the clock. It was parked in '86, the year the registration sticker attached to the license plate. Door handle was broken, so they opened it for the first time since '86 with vice grips to reveal the interior that hasn't been touched since the mid-'80s. After checking the car out the first time, they returned back a week later to with an open trailer and towed it with their now third DeLorean to its new home. On the day of the rescue, it was raining, so the car was given a free wash by Mother Nature. Thank you, Mother Nature. And let's see, where's the car? Click Wisconsin. DeLoreans were built '81 to '83. And for many of you that know the DeLoreans, they were not, it's kind of like lots of cars in history. Jaguar XJ220 comes to mind. Basically, it was cars that were overpromised and underdelivered. That's never the way you want to do it. You want to underpromise and overdeliver. This car was supposed to have huge power. It's supposed to be, all, amazing build quality. It's supposed to be all this stuff. Ended up with a very underpowered Peugeot engine or Renault engine and a Peugeot transmission, and it was built in a factory in Northern Ireland where the quality just wasn't there. Huge failure. Only 9,000 were produced. There are still 6,500 in existence now, and probably about 6,000 of those are disco tapes in the console. Probably. But they were, like I said, it's not 6,000. Mrs. Old Car, Mrs. Old Car, thank you for coming into the show as well. As I was saying, 6,500 of them are known to be around, and I have to say about 6,000 of them are probably Back to the Future replica cars. Anyways, stumbled that out. So it's nice. I would love to find myself a barn find. It'd be the opportunity of a lifetime, absolutely. And I'm sure there's the same thing that everybody says here. But yeah, 32 years. You can only imagine what under the hood and inside everything, what that car really does. Does it have any? No interior pictures, so we can't even show you what that is. Now I have to say to you guys, please, if you ate recently, you may not want to watch this next story because it's an abomination, but I had to show you, okay? No words. I was about to say interesting concept, but I can't even say that. So what you're looking at, yeah, that's exactly, yeah. And as you can see by the plate in the front, it's going to be up for auction at Makem. I'm hoping the reason that they did this was the show was in a bad rear end collision. But if somebody took a decent SHO, chopped it in half, and put a really hideous, I love step sides, don't get me wrong, but on this thing, hideous step side Ranger bed on the back of it. It doesn't even look like they're the same width, even with that. So it just looks weird. It'd be better. The upside, it's better looking than the Cybertruck. You have a point there. You do have a point. It does look better than the Cybertruck. But I just can't. We'll get some more pictures here in a minute. Side view. Yep. I mean, that's a great view. That's a beautiful view. The iconic, SHO from the mid 90s, Yamaha engine, 5-speed manual. And then you had to do that. I mean, even the bulkhead that they built doesn't look good. I mean, if you're gonna do it right, you needed to, they should have sliced the bed down the middle, stretched it out so that, maybe you could get the body lines to line up between the bed and the lower part of the, the rockers. But yeah. Oh yeah, the back is even worse. I mean, if you're gonna do a valance across there, buy one. They make them. That's one of the worst things right there. Show truck. No. Am I saying I could do it better? Probably not, but I don't think I would have started it off to begin with. Yeah. Kill it. Oh, absolutely. Anyway, I'm not gonna. Let's get rid of that. All right, we're getting close to the end. Our last piece here. Oh, don't be doing this to me again. Google. Respond. It had to have been done in a poorly lit garage. Absolutely. All right, we're gonna go through some the latest automotive safety recalls. This is from 5 days ago. So good old Foster beer make anything look good. As long as that Foster beer is accompanied with 5 others, at least. Nice. We're gonna go through some of the latest safety recalls. I don't remember whether I talked about this last time, but it was reported in December 18th, so I may have talked about this before. 2006 through 10, Ford Fusion, Milan, Zephyr, and MKZ. 600,000 of them are affected by valves in the ABS hydraulic control units that may react with brake fluid containing specific corrosion prohibitive additives. Reaction may cause the valves to not close properly, and then you don't have much of a brake system. So, new Chevy trucks. I think we talked about this before. 19 Silverado, the CT6, and the Sierra, 463,000. Well, let's go 464,000. Close enough. They have electronic brake control module software errors, which may cause the stability control and ABS systems become disabled. Another GMC, 2019 and 20 Silverados and GMCs, 350,000 of them are affected by battery positive cable ring may have been manufactured with excessive glue, and the glue can lead to electrical arcing. Ooh. You know, you make a good point, Pete. Once you get electronics involved with anything, and you make them more complicated than they really need to be, I think we would have a whole lot less recalls. I understand why, you know, safety is mandated by the, you know, the government for these stability controls and whatnot. But I think also people just need to learn how to drive better, and then we don't have to worry about those nanny aids, and wouldn't be as many recalls. The 18 and 19 Pacificas, 20,000 affected. And these are ones that are equipped with 8.4-inch radio display, 360 surround video camera system, and seat back video screens. A software error can cause the rear view camera image to remain displayed on the radio after the vehicle has been switched out of reverse. As such, these vehicles fail to comply with requirements of the FMVSS number 111 rear view mirrors. The lingering rear view image can distract the driver and increase the risk of crash. Bummer. A Viper? 05 and 06 Vipers. All 3,329 of them. Occupant restraint control module may inadvertently deploy the airbags and the seat belt pretension. I know I shouldn't laugh at that, but unexpected deployment of the airbags and the seat pretensioner, excuse me, increases the risk of injury and crash. Never trust anything with a wire hanging out of it. It's a very good point, Walt. Yep. Yeah. That's what makes cars so difficult to work on now than the older vehicles, is all the wiring. Also, what's keeps cars weighing so much. 2019 and 20 BMW M5 and M8 3000 are affected. The transmission ring wire harness can be damaged, resulting in electrical short circuit, and that can cause the transmission to shift into neutral, resulting in loss of propulsion, increasing the crash risk. Oh, Jason, you are hilarious. We're going to go through a couple more, and then if you guys want to, we can sit and chat in the whatever that thing, the chat. 2017 through 19 F-Series Super Duty, 490,000. And these are because the seat pretensioner deploys in a crash may cause sparks that ignite carpeting and insulation within the B pillar area. Not a good thing. Used to be able to jump ODB to port and it flash codes. Yes. Yeah, OBD1, although each company had their own specific codes and all that sort of stuff, was a bit easier to handle. Now you've got thousands upon thousands of different codes for all the same thing, and it's weird. And yes, you're right, Walt. The fact that a 12-year-old can hack into your car, that's never a good thing either. 2020. Man, did they even start selling these things yet? Porsche 911. Sorry, Porsche for your Porsche files. 1,900 of the 2020 Porsche 911. What do we got here? Due to software error, the hazard warning lights may not function and may not function when activated by the operator. As such, these vehicles fail to comply with blah, blah, blah. I don't think that many companies are... I think quality standards on a lot of companies, and especially this is surprising for a company like Porsche, quality standards are just doesn't seem to be what they used to be. All right, Toyota, scandalous. 19 and 20, Toyota CHR and the Corollas. Equipped with rear seatbelt assemblies with a dual mode locking mechanism. Seatbelt webbing sensor locking mechanism may not lock as intended. In the event of a crash involving multiple impacts, seatbelt may not properly restrain the occupant, increasing risk of injury. Porsche, not Porsche. Yeah. Well, you know, you talk to somebody who is a Porsche fanatic, and if you don't say Porsche, then, you know, tomato, not tomato, not tomato, then it's a tomato. Anyways, I say it either way. Most of the time it's Porsche because, you know, that's what I always grew up with. No, it's not Nissan. Nissan. San. S-A. San. Huh? You know what? I can send you to Canada and to live with these guys. I don't know if you you know, heard her. Mater, yes. Tomato is a mater. You got maters, taters, and beans. Anyway, let's go through and we'll talk about after this special thing. Oh, Priuses are getting recalled. 3,700 of them. What?
Don't tell Delaney.
That's a 2019. She's good.
Yeah, she wants a new Prius.
All right, I gotta ask you, you know, Sherry. Nissan. I know you're American. Which one? Or is he converted you to Nissan? What?
I don't, Daniel.
Oh, all right. They're playing GTA. We got Grayson a Xbox One, so the two of them are now playing together. Oh, and he's just trying to kill her. Nissan. All right, that's America. Anyway, so what's going on with the Prius? Electrical short in the combination meter could occur, causing the speedo, odo, and field gauge to go blank. And guess what? That doesn't comply with the federal motor vehicle safety standard. Blah blah blah. Yeah, that's kind of a important thing to, you know, have a speedo. So I can definitely see why they're in trouble for that. Anyways, not going to go through a whole lot more. We're about an hour into the stream here, so we are going to call that a night. And I want to thank all of you guys for hanging out for the evening. Such a nice house in the background for such a yucky car. Yeah. I want to thank you guys for hanging out for the hour this evening. Thanks for sticking around for the little bit of a glitch that started out here. I know you guys are all supporters of the Buy It or Boot It, and I do appreciate that as well. That was a really good stream we had last week, and I can't do it without you guys, so thank you. And as we end all of our streams and all of our videos, dreams without ambition is like a car without gas. You aren't going to get very far. God bless. Have a great night. We will see you on the flip side.
Would you rather cuddle?